Yeah, but you ain't fired these folks.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
His life was disregarded. No announcement of police on property until the ambush. Failure of officers to render immediate first aid. Instead, they stood over his body and one even kicked Steve's foot to see if he moved. Failure to secure crime scene as an officer stood over the body of the tow truck driver somehow got to drive off in a vehicle. I mean, come on now. It ain't rocket science. It don't take a mentally handicapped person can tell rules and regulations are broken. Okay, right? Has the mayor got a disciplinary report from you? For termination. We're going to hold on to the rest. For termination. Yeah, you can do it. The ball in your hand, they've already exposed you.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can shake your hand, no, all you want.
Yes, it is.
From what we heard, you got more pull than the ball than this man.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up.
You're right. You're right.
See, that's the problem. Y'all don't want to listen. It makes no sense for us to keep getting up in here and y'all keep making an excuse. I don't know, I can't say. Y'all are supposed to be leaders. I don't know what y'all definition of a leader is, but my definition of a leader is somebody who's gonna stand strong for what's right. Period. Brushing me off this phone, off this mic, ain't gonna make it no better. And at this point, I'm discussing with all y'all.
I'm not trying to go.
Yeah, well, that's what you're doing. You must be scared of your department. You must be scared of your employees. You got to be scared of them.
At all? So why are we here?
Right.
Why is it taking this long for all of you to answer this call? You are the people in power, of course. You know, you have more power than I do, obviously. And but I do understand your limitations. But let's go over a few of your jobs, shall we? In the handbook for mayors and council members, 2020 edition, which is the updated version, published by Alabama League of Municipalities, under section 25C, if the mayor was here, I'd be addressing to him about his authority to dismiss officers and department heads. But instead, I'll address section 65, which means that the council, by 2/3 vote, may remove any department head for incompetency, malfeasance, misfeasance, or habitual neglect of duty. Now, under all this section as well, you, the police liaison, can call for his hearing for his termination, but you can also call for the termination for the officer, just with you being the police liaison. Now, on top of that, this is cute as it's all written. However, I know that all of you find different meanings to these, especially incompetency, so let's go over a few of Decatur PD's recent lawsuits. Again, just like last week, an internal investigation is happening. So is that the only one? No, obviously not, because you'll have a lot going on. But not that much, because there's only 3. So since the mayor is again not here, let me point out again that since there is an internal investigation going on within his local police, updates regarding that investigation do pertain to him, by the way, being here. But anyway, under Decatur PD, General Order 604, also under this order, when you spoke, also under this order, requests for escorts, like funeral processions and everything else, are reviewed and everything else by the chief of police. So ask him personally, if he denies it, I would personally like to know. Oh, well, good enough. This was already signed and approved by Todd. This general order was signed by Todd Kenyon regarding escort services Decatur PD can do and how. Under this order, Procedure B, number 2B, private vehicles, it says, officers conducting the escorts will activate patrol, emergency equipment, and lights. So if, under the dispatch call, your officer was escorting, he needed to have his lights on. But again, that didn't happen. Okay, that. General Order number 111, also approved by Mr. Todd Kenyon. Let me read this from my phone because it's jumbled. But under this policy, it states directly, it is the policy of Decatur Police Department that officers use only the response to resistance, which would be the call of that night, that reasonably appears necessary to effectively bring an incident under control while protecting the lives of the officer and others. They will apply de-escalation techniques when possible. The response to resistance must be objectively reasonable. We'll go to that in 2 seconds. The officer must only use that response to resistance, which is reasonably prudent officer would use under the same or similar circumstances. I don't know who all was at the town hall, but I did ask Chief Allen, under just general circumstances, receiving a dispatch call saying that a man is armed and objecting to a repossession, what would he have done? And as the ex-chief of police, he said he would have knocked on the door.
That's right.
So, that's 8th Amendment. But anyways, so objectively reasonably, this term means that in determining the necessary for force, the appropriate level for force, officers shall evaluate each situation in light of the known circumstances. So the only thing known is the phone call, right? Including but not limited to the seriousness of the crime. According to this phone call, what crime did Steve commit? Thank you. All right, the level of the threat. What threat was Steve to the public? Thank you. So, that's all that. I did this in my free time. I'm wrapping it up. I did this in my free time. Why is the internal investigation not released? I'm a mom of 2 kids. I'm a college student. I did this in my free time. Okay? Why have you not all called for Todd's termination? All of you, and the mayor included. And in this investigation, why have you not called for his termination due to incompetency?
Right.
It's obvious, right? This keeps happening over and over and over again in your city. There's got to be, a common denominator, right? We need new leaders, correct?
Yes.
So all of you as our leaders, because you all are not department heads, you are the council. He is the department head. You're above him. Help us here, all of you. Police liaison, council, mayor who's not here. You have power. Stop saying the same narrative to us that there's nothing you can do. There's so much you can do. And if I have to continue getting up here and reciting your handbook and the codes and policies for nothing, I guess, then I will continue to do that for Contrella and for the 7-year-old and the 14-year-old that you all are denying justice and